couple of days later, after we had had our pillars of faith and so on with the Islam religion, I was in an American history class, and we were on the topic of 9/11. Well, quite seemingly, quite naturally, we got into a discussion of, I asked the kids, were you old enough to remember the morning of 9/11? And many of them said yes, that they did remember quite vividly about that morning. And we talked about seeing that second plane come in and strike the Twin Towers, and the feelings of fear and anger and horror as we realized, and little kids were realizing, just as I was as an adult, that we were seeing people die. And that obviously they were being murdered by somebody that had orchestrated a pretty fancy attack. So we talked quite a bit about that, shared our feelings, and there was quite a bit of anger. And a lot of anger towards whoever would do such a thing. And of course all of us by now fully aware that bin Laden is the acknowledged organizer, mastermind of that terrible, terrible event. We were angry about it, and we talked about the fact that President Bush had come out and said, wanted, dead or alive, bin Laden. I said, you know, I was asked by somebody in an elementary school, a former student of mine asked me to talk to her kids, and I told them, you know, if that guy really is responsible, smart enough to organize and to pull this off, he is not dumb. He's deeply underground now that it happened. He would be smart enough to be well hidden before the actual crimes were committed. And, you know, we haven't gotten him yet. And we talked a good bit about that. And, you know, Obama has said he will try to get him. And I'm very sure George Bush and Vice President tried very, very hard to get bin Laden. And maybe we'll get him. If not, God will get him eventually. The man did a terrible, terrible thing and got other people to do terrible, terrible things. He certainly couldn't do it all alone. So, you know, we were getting pretty well stirred up and a lot of feeling about people in Afghanistan. And now the war. You know, I tell the kids, every time I'm in the classroom, it bothers me how few actually say the flag salute. And it bothers me that the high school administration seems to feel they've met their responsibility if they have it said over the PA system and the kids stand for it. But, oh man, when I'm there, I say that flag salute and a few join in. And then I tell them, kids, if this world doesn't change, some of you are going to give your life for that flag. Salute it. At least stand up and say the flag salute, the Pledge of Allegiance. Bothers me quite a bit that we're not doing a better job of teaching patriotism to our boys and girls. And it's our fault, not theirs. Not theirs. It's our fault as parents, teachers, administrators, presidents, Supreme Courts, you know, whoever. We could certainly do with, be damned what politics you subscribe to, that we subscribe to. I'm an American and I say the flag salute and I mean it from my heart. Well, anyway, then it occurred to me, man, we're all on the bandwagon about bin Laden. I asked the question, are any of you aware that there has been in recent years an American commit a terrorist act that killed a lot of fellow Americans? Boy, it got totally quiet. And one boy spoke with a firm voice, an American? Yes, an American. Well, then the kids began to guess. Some thought maybe James Jones. Some thought maybe the Unabomber. Various guesses were made, and then it got very quiet. And one boy said, "Oh, McVeigh." "Oh, yes," I said McVeigh, and then we talked about McVeigh. And if you follow all of my videos, you would know that in one of the Army reunions, I was in the presence of the man in Oklahoma, Mr. Jones, who was appointed by the governor of Oklahoma to represent McVeigh. And then they had to put guards on his house to keep the people of Oklahoma from harming the attorney that would represent that monster.